Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Innkeeper, and today I would like to introduce you all to a rather interesting title called Oxygen Not Included. This game is currently in its alpha stages and can be best described as a underground space colony management game similar to that of RimWorld, with what I believe is some inspirations taken from Dwarf Fortress, or at least I think so. It's a very interesting title. It's got a terrific art style that I absolutely admire, and the gameplay as well is very unique, so I wanted to just play that, enjoy it. Let's get a new game. I feel like the art style, I don't really want to say Tim Burton-esque, because I feel like it's sort of overused. It's very cool looking, somewhat hand-drawn as well, like a cartoonish kind of thing. It's really cool. But anyway, we've got these characters right here, and like I said, it does take some inspirations from Dwarf Fortress, but I think I'm going to mostly reference it to RimWorld, just because it is a more modern title. It's a more recent title and a very good game in and of itself. So you get your colonists right here, and you're basically in a subterranean asteroid base. So you basically just teleport in the middle of the base. No one really knows what the hell they're doing or why they're there. They're just there, and they're going to try and survive. And, well, oxygen may or may not be included. It's part of the game. It's the game title. You see what I did there? Ladies, no? Okay, fine. I didn't start my timer, but that's okay. It's a great start. Anyway, so we have this person right here. Is that a Y? Spill? Leah? Yeah. And it was some interesting names right here. I might just shuffle just to get some... Otto! There we are. I'm loving Otto right there. He's a runner. He's athletic. So all these attributes right here will change their abilities and give them slight upgrades, but everyone else can basically do everything unless, of course, they have a trait that gives them a disability to do something like research or cook food, something like that. We will get into that in a more greater depth. But anyway, we've got these traits, like, right here, as I did state. And it basically just gives us +5 tinkering. So we have all these random stats right here. Not all of these stats are just from traits or anything like that. They're just sort of randomly generated from the shuffling mechanic right here. So we've got Ralph right there. Look at him. I don't know if these animations really dictate their personality. I have to imagine they do. But we have a technician right here. Does a little bit of cooking, some learning right here, so increases their research points per day and also their skill leveling, which is pretty fantastic. Of course, I think these attributes are skills. I could be mistaken. But anyway, so we got a level 5 technician right here, and she's pretty good as well. She's got lots of really fun stuff. Let's look at the negative effects, because these can be very dire. Some of them could be them falling asleep anywhere. Okay, they could fall asleep while they're surrounded by CO2. And then they die. So, not the best scenario to be placed in, the very least. Anyway, Grease Monkey. So, the duplicate, which is what these colonists are called, likes to throw a wrench into the colony's plans. It's in a good way. Fantastic. Tinkering +5. The negative trait in red right here, bottomless stomach, I have to imagine, means that they... Okay, so they burn... Their calorie burning rate... calories burn rate... Is that minus 0.8? Okay. I think that's a minus. I don't know. Negative 8 calories a second? Sure. Anyway, Night Owl right here. The duplicate does their best work. I hate saying duplicate. I need to open my mouth. Duplicate. There we go. Dupe. I've got to get the dupe in there. The duplicate does their best work when they're out. When they ought to be sleeping. Fantastic. In space, everyone can hear you snore. Wow. Okay, loud snorer. I don't know if this affects anyone. I've never had this one before. They're very interesting negative traits. And then this one's +7 to athletics, which means they have a much greater run speed. It's not really the best attribute in the world, although I imagine in the later game. Sorry about that. My perfectly good intro was ruined. Someone came into my room unannounced. Anyway. Athletics right here says increase their movement speed. It's not exactly the most amazing thing in the world, but I like our roster right here. We've got Otto, Ralph, and... You know what? I don't know what your name is. I don't know how to pronounce your name. So instead, we're going to have Islay. Oh, yeah. What's our facility going to be called? Drunk-Corp. Yeah, I like it. Drunk-Corp. Well, I feel like getting drunk in a space colony... in an asteroid, probably not the best idea in the world. Anyway, let's get this going. here we are. We've teleported in. No one knows why they're here or what happened. So alert. Your crew has awoken miles beneath the surface of an unfamiliar terrestrial body. Oddly, they have no recollection of how they got there. It might be best to start digging. I don't know why these colonists are here, and neither do they. Okay, and I might add, these colonists are also very resourceful at the same time. So as you can see right there, this game has plenty of numbers to help you try and understand and reference what exactly we're going to be doing right here. And there's a lot of stuff. The UI has a lot going on right now. So basically in the bottom right here is our ability to order our little colonists right here to do whatever the hell we want. We want them to dig, we want them to harvest, prioritize, which is quite an interesting one, although you can change that in several other ways as well. Sweep, which is to store resources. Mop, which is to get rid of liquid messes. And destruction, which is to destroy anything that we've got around here. There's also this lovely sheet right here. It's quite basic. Obviously, the game is in alpha right now, so this just feels like, I don't know, some sort of, I don't know, programming code. Not code, program. Merv, don't talk to me like that. I feel like I'm being mocked by him right now. It looks quite basic, is what I'm trying to say. It always gives you this detail screen right here that I don't really know how to reference it to, other than actually, no, not even that. This bit's quite useful. So storing right here their status, the capacity they have right now, which is right here, 150 kilograms, quite nice. You can also change you go to options right here, the units that I use for temperature, metrics, all this fun stuff. I imagine they're going to add a lot more in the later game as well. Some people might just want other things. It's quite nice. So here's our characters right here. Level 2 technician. I don't know if these levels really matter when it comes to their proficiency in something, because they've all got skills, and some runners might also be good technicians, might even be better technicians than some others. But this is all their needs right here. This is their status. These are their stats. This is what they're assigned to, so they usually have a room or maybe a bunk bed or something like that. It's all fun. Now, the thing I've noticed already is that we're surrounded by water, and we also have quite a lot of this oxalate right here. So oxygen is actually included. There is some oxygen right here, and it's very breathable at the moment. So if we zoom out, we can see that there's some unbreathable air right here, which is carbon dioxide right here, CO2. And that's obviously generated by your characters breathing in and out, using their lungs to create some of that delicious, delicious stuff that keeps them alive and unfortunately creates a byproduct, which is not very good to breathe. Now, of course, CO2 is heavier than oxygen, so it's going to fall down, and that's how you sort of ventilate, as it were. You want to have as big of a space as you possibly can, because pressure is also a big deal as well. If your place is filled up, or too small, as it were, you won't be able to fit any more oxygen in there, for instance, and it's going to get filled up with CO2, and everyone's going to die. It's going to be horrible. Of course, it does take a little while for that to actually happen. And then we've got power grid and temperature overlay, which is quite fantastic. This game just has so much going on, and I'm excited. As you could probably tell, it's a really great game. It's got the jobs board right here, once again referencing towards RimWorld, just sort of the similar job allocation system. Even Stonehearth as well has a similar system, and some of our colonists won't be able to do certain things based on their traits. They also have their vitals right here, which is their fullness, which gives you how much they eat, how much they require to eat, and how much food we have available is in the top left right here. And the highest stress is, their stress levels, how bad things are going on, the amount of colonists that we had. And these are just our little sort of tooltips, which are quite nice. Anyway, let's get into it. We'll get into the construction part of it as well. Let's do some digging. We want to make our room a little bit bigger. I don't know if they can mine 4 blocks high. You know what? Let's go back. I need to remember what some of these Oh, a good thing about the cancel tool as well is that you can set it to be quite specific. Really, really useful, especially if you want to just delete a lot of things. Really nice. Or, well, stop some things. So what we're going to do is probably mine out this little corner right here. And I don't know if they'll be able to reach that. But let's get the game going. Of course, you can set speeds. I can do that with tab. You can see it in the top left. The game can be... Excuse me. The game can be pretty fast if you want it to be. So I'm just hoping they can reach that top bit. They can, okay, because they reach 4 blocks high. I don't know what these devices are, but they sort of remind me of Ghostbusters, so I don't know if we're just sort of Ghostbusting the dirt. I like to think so. It, you know, just really adds to my immersion, to be honest with you. At the moment, of course, our duplicates right here, our colonists, are breathing, which is causing carbon dioxide to fill up into our little narrow space right here, which isn't the most ideal situation to be placed in. Now, we do need to make ourselves a toilet, which is one of the basic needs of our colonists right here. So if we go over to, is it plumbing? Yes. We can make an outhouse. Now, we do require dirt, and as you can see right here, we need sandstone, which is basically all around us anyway. And you can see that we need 200 sandstone, and we currently have 4,160 in our inventory. You can see that on the top right here as well. Sandstone, 4,160 kilograms, or well, 4 tons. We need to put this in an area. I don't know if you can connect pipes to this. I've never really gone that far, because I wanted to sort of experience a good amount of it with you guys. I think it might be a good idea just to sort of place this here for now, and eventually we can move it if we feel like we need to do so. So that's good. We'll get that done. We will speed the game up in the background. Looks like you sort of hoovered something there. Tell you what, it might be a good idea for us to get ourselves a storage unit as well. So if we just sort of place that here, it means that we'll be able to store some of this sandstone. Because I think at the moment they're just sort of carrying it all. At the moment we've got a dirty hand, which is quite interesting. So we will just have it be click all and then just sweep all as well. So anything that they sweep up is going to be thrown into this storage capacitor. And it doesn't require any power. However, this outhouse requires dirt. So it requires 10 kilograms of dirt. And I believe this is sandstone. So this stuff right here, this is dirt. So what we will do is G for dig. Yeah, I'm getting used to it. I'm getting it. And we're just going to dig as far as we can. This sand also does have physics, by the way. It's similar to Minecraft, it will fall down. Nothing else will, just the sand. I also think the sand can bug out as well. And you could just sort of get a little circle of it, or a little boulder of sand that you can't really get rid of. I wonder what's going on here. Oh, okay, then the game even accounts for high pressure. I mean, I guess there's just a lot of air in there, so the pressure's pushing the water back. That's really interesting. You can see it just sort of curving around here. There's also some wild waves going on that's quite interesting. Let's just continue to dig. See this little boulder right here. I want to dig that, and I'm hoping they will do it. There we go. It's not okay, I guess that wasn't a boulder. I've had one level where it's just sort of stayed there, and I can't get rid of it no matter how hard I try. Right, so now what we also want to do is make ourselves some tiles, which only require 200 sandstone per tile, and sandstone is a... well, we have it in abundancy, so we're pretty much okay. And what this does is it increases their movement speed. Now, what we probably don't want to do is go crazy with it, because we also want to dig further down here and make this into a nice little living quarters. And at the same time, we want to also break this apart so we can move the water down into this giant canyon that we have right here. Then again, we might want to do that later, because at the moment we have a lot of copper ore in here that we might find to be particularly useful. Not to mention there's a hell of a lot of breathable oxygen in here, which is quite nice. Tapping into areas with breathable oxygen, especially very breathable oxygen, is always nice. And of course we have some CO2 buildup going on right now. Food, we're pretty much okay on that. They don't really eat very much, probably once a day, dependent of course on their stats. So what we want to do is sweep here. So they're going to pick up all of these items just to make it a lot less messy. And any sweeped items are going to be thrown into this element filter, which apparently what it's called, and that could store up to 20 tons. That's a hell of a lot inside that little storage capacitor right there. That's way too much. That's insane. Right, okay. I guess it's some sort of TARDIS. I don't know. Cool. I like how our little base is sort of covered by this little bit of algae. I might add this algae. It does become useful later on. You can produce your own oxygen. Looks like we already filled up our capacitor right here. Probably want to get ourselves another one. We're going to leave our outhouse here for the time being. Let's make ourselves another capacitor. Let's just pop it here for now. I think you can't move these. You can disable them. So I suppose what you can do is just sort of haul everything over. But that's okay. So what we want to do is make a ladder, which I believe is right here. And looks like they're eating chicken right now. I really do adore the animation style of this game. I don't know what they're doing, but it just looks really like they're eating 2 really large potatoes. That's what they're doing right now, and it's very odd, to say the least. We also want to make sure everything goes in there for the time being. Let's go to our ladder, and let's make sure it goes this far down? Probably even further. I like that. Let's also deconstruct this wall right here. That would be great. Let's speed the game up. So we want to make sure we dig down as quickly as we can so that the CO2 can go somewhere. I don't know if there's something later on or maybe even early on that I've missed that can absorb the CO2 and, I don't know, just purify it or, well, I don't know if it will purify it, but definitely get rid of it. Oh, look, there we go. They've all fallen asleep. And looks like interrupted sleep, tired. I wonder what's interrupting their sleep. Oh, right. We got a snorer right here, I see. So what we want to do is make sure that our snorer is further away from their friends. If we move them here, there we go. Now they can get some sleep. And it looks like there's a little projection of how far their snoring sound sort of goes. It's quite interesting. So what we want to do is probably give them their own room so they don't annoy anyone else. Do you think we should do that, Merv? Merv, I don't know what you're saying right now, but you're really creeping me out. What? What did I do? What? I think he wants to really be a part of this right now. I mean, I'm okay with that. If you want to be a part of it, that's your prerogative. And also mine as well, really. Oh, there's a plant right here. We also want to get some of these plants. There are quite a few of them in this water area right here. What we'll probably do is mine out this bit so that all the water can tip into this nice little lagoon that we have right here. And we'll possibly even use that later on as some sort of, I don't know, dumping area. Dependent. I mean, you know, maybe not. Maybe we will. It depends, you know, how we're really feeling about just destroying the environment around us. Usually just a big thing. So we're going to mine out this giant space. Thankfully, they don't take very long to do that. And eventually, we would also want to get ourselves... I think there's a lot of CO2 down there. Yep. All of the CO2 is basically fallen into this area right here. And it is also partially because... we're not producing any more oxygen. So we're just losing oxygen. If we go to our menu back here, in fact, and also get rid of the digging tool, we can see that the amount of oxygen we have left is... it looks like it seems to indicate how much we have left per tile. Can I find out how much we have? Seems to just be per tile. I wonder if there should be a way to find out. There might be better statistics somewhere. Statistics for this. Maybe not. Okay, it seems to be just showing you how much we're having per tile. Breathable gas, condensation point, minus 183.15. Interesting. But anyway, we want to produce our own oxygen. Oh. Okay, can't zoom out apparently if I'm in that menu. So they get basically as close as they can to the oxygen and then just sort of chill out. I really do love this mechanic. It's really nice, very unique. It looks like they just ate a whole chicken before our very eyes. It looks like you're eating a lot more than I recall. Yep, the food is going down much quicker than I recall as well. Perhaps you're much heavier eaters. Or maybe it's just because they're working very hard. Maybe I just didn't work. You know what? It seems like I need to mine some of these out twice. Oh no, the sand must have fallen from there. That is fine then. So what we will do is get tiles set up down here. And what we will also do is probably get food set up soon enough. We want to get a research table for that. And we also want to get our cot set up. Now before we get our cot set up, we should also go over to our... is it oxygen? So what we need is raw metal. So we need to go into this area right here. Make ourselves a nice little staircase so that we can get to our metal. Since I don't think there is anyone... yep, there's no other metal nearby other than this slot. And there's some small chunks here and there, some copper ore, but it's not too much of a big deal. Right, so let's do a little bit more mining. Let's sort of mine into... should we just mine into here? I don't like the idea of just mining into here. I want this to be sort of a little doorway. And we can make ourselves a door eventually. And then what we will do is use these tiles to hopefully make ourselves a staircase. Now we will need that algae at some point so that we can make ourselves our own oxygen. And also we need to get rid of that. That would be great. I'm not going to get rid of this. It's really weird seeing the oxygen flow in such a way. I feel like I can see in another dimension. It's really creepy. Right, so we will leave that oxygen bubble thing there. And we'll just sort of make our lovely little staircase down. We don't really need to make a staircase down, do we? We just need to make a ladder. What am I doing? So this is why we have the cancel tool. Fantastic. Let's make a ladder. Looks like the ladder won't reach the bottom, but they should be able to get rid of this while on the ladder. And I'm leaving this here because it does produce oxygen. So, oxylite, just some sort of strange mineral that does produce oxygen. Can you move over here, please? Thank you very much. I really do like that mechanic. It does require some intervention. Something a little bit different as well. Makes your colonists more unique. Sleepy bastards. All you do is sleep. Toggle red alert. Duplicates will enter a state of emergency and ignore their basic needs. Now, some of you probably noticed there are some weird-looking aliens right here. Very goopy. And they are in a very toxic environment. Probably want to be careful of that. I don't know how big this game can really get. There seems to be quite a large number of areas, including a rather interesting-looking terrain types as well. Well, there are interesting-looking terrain types. Unfortunately, it seems like our oxylite thing has probably run out. Wait, do they run out? Oh, boy. Right, we need to make some tiles there. Just in case. Right, let's make a tile here. No, wait, let's not make a tile there. We need to make a ladder